All right, hello and welcome to the LongHash Ventures LongHashX Cohort 7 Accelerator Demo Day. That is quite the mouthful. We're super excited to have you here with us today, and we're particularly excited to have you in the first Web3 Demo Day hosted in the metaverse here in CryptoVoxels. So today we're going to have a very exciting program. We're going to have the 10 projects that were part of the Cohort 7 Accelerator join us and pitch and demo their product for all the audience to see. Now, we've been working with these projects over the last 12 weeks across 2 tracks. We're super excited for what they have to share today. We're going to first start with the Filecoin track. So these are for 5 projects that are building on the Filecoin ecosystem. And then halfway through the program, we'll then switch to the DeFi track, which are for the projects that are building around DeFi, NFTs, and other use cases supported by the Asia DeFi network. Now, I'm Buri. I'm the program lead at LongHash Ventures, and this is Pranav, the venture builder.
Thanks. Hi, guys. I'm Pranav. So for those of you who don't know, LongHash Ventures is a Web3 native investor and accelerator. In fact, we were the first Web3 accelerator in Asia and started 4 years ago. Now, over this time, we worked with over 50 projects and helped them raise over 100 million from major Web3 investors. We also manage 50 million in AUM and have over 70 portfolio companies, including Filecoin, Polkadot, Zapper, and Akala. We started with a DeFi thesis, but quickly expanded to NFTs, DAOs and related infrastructure, Gamified, and even metaverses. Now in 2022, we will continue to invest in projects bringing Web3 adoption and continue to work with our portfolio companies on key Web3 native projects, such as tokenomics, governance, community building, and creating an investor network.
Now, we've been working with these 10 projects over the last 12 weeks precisely on those topics, and we're super excited about what they're going to share with you today. And we have a very exciting lineup, not only of projects, but also of speakers from the Filecoin ecosystem, as well as from Asia DeFi Network. Now, before we get started with the program, given this is the first demo day that's been hosted in the metaverse, some of you may be already very familiar with navigating your way around CryptoVoxels, and for others, this might be the first time that you've joined CryptoVoxels. So, we thought we'll go a very simple tutorial of how to navigate around. First of all, you can actually move your mouse or cursor to look around the screen, and you can use the keys W to move forward, S to move back, A to move to the left, D to move to the right, and importantly, the letter F or the key F to fly up and down across the stage. So as we're going through the program and as the various speakers are presenting, do feel free to have a look around. We have boards with the project introductions, as well as with the co-founder introductions on the ground floor. And then you can have a look around. You can go to the basement. We have a very cool NFT gallery. And just a reminder that we will be raffling these NFTs to the participants that are here today. And then lastly, if you go closer to the stage, right next to where it says hashtag LongHashX, you'll see a guest book. So we encourage you to sign in with your MetaMask and sign the guest book, as this will enter you into the NFT raffle.
Yeah,
that's it.
And also, if you are flying, just make sure you are not in somebody else's view. So,
sorry, and just one last thing as well. Given that we do expect quite a few hundred people to attend today, it's possible that, just as in real life, it might get a little bit crowded. It might be hard to see the screen. So if this is the case, or if you encounter any issues with CryptoVoxels, we will be posting a backup link to the YouTube live stream on our Twitter. So you can go to our Twitter at LongHashVC, find the link there if you have any problems.
Awesome. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get started. So today, we'll start with the Filecoin track with 5 projects building on the ever-growing ecosystem. But before we start, we're excited to have Colin, the ecosystem growth lead at Protocolin Labs, who's going to provide an exciting update on the Filecoin ecosystem. Colin, the floor is yours.
Great. Thanks. And hello, everyone. My name is Colin, but my friends call me Protocolin, and I'm incredibly honored and excited to be participating in today's demo day. I want to welcome the 5 teams in the Filecoin Frontier Track to the stage in a minute. And I want to mention that the community has been supporting these teams for months now, and I couldn't be more impressed by the creativity, the hard work, the resilience, the growth mindset that they all have. Now, before we kick things off, I thought I'd talk a little bit about accelerating the transition from Web3 generally. And so I'll do a quick talk on that. Now, many of us that are in the room were a part of the transition from Web 1 to Web 2.0. This is where the web transitioned from a set of websites that were read-only and static to desktop and mobile applications that were read and write and interactive. And now we have the unique opportunity to witness the next major transformation of the web, going from Web 2 to Web 3.0. A world where we can all increase trust, security, transparency, and traceability of data and applications, introducing verifiability into the architecture of the web itself. Now, I'd argue this transition is inevitable, but the pace at which we make this transition from Web 2 to Web 3 really depends on the quality of applications, the quality of tools, and businesses within Web 3. And together, we can help accelerate that transition by developing incredible applications and businesses that the world has never seen before. Now, I joined Web3 to help accelerate this transition, and I've been fortunate to work on some of the key components of Web3. libp2p, which has become the networking library of Web3, adopted by Ethereum 2, Polkadot, and most of the major Web3 networks. IPFS, which is the content and data platform of Web3. And of course, Filecoin, which is a crypto-powered storage network and has become the storage network of Web3. I've also been helping collaborate with all sorts of use cases and applications within IPFS, libp2p, or ones that are building on Filecoin. And I'm so delighted to welcome the next 5 killer applications and tools that we'll present today on the Filecoin Frontier Track. These teams have tremendous potential. Lit Protocol, which is building decentralized access control network that enables access to off-chain and content and experiences based on on-chain conditions. Grape, which is building tooling for communities to create decentralized stored social networks on Solana. Lighthouse, which is this bridge that creates permanent file storage built on Filecoin and allows the ability to pay once and store forever, a really important use case that's been highly anticipated by applications. ItsMyne, a Reddit-style community-focused platform to buy and trade digital sports collectibles, and Matters Lab, decentralized publication platform with subscription service and membership management. Now, I want to mention to those 5 teams that you're not alone. 70 teams graduated from a variety of Filecoin accelerators in 2021, including the Filecoin Frontier first cohort that graduated mid-year. And you're also welcoming a whole bunch of different folks that continue to participate in hackathons. So these are 10,000 developers that engaged in hackathons in 2021. We think that number will be over 100,000 developers that are engaging in hackathons on top of IPFS, Filecoin, and libp2p in 2022. We're actually kicking off over 5 hackathons a month. NFT Vision Hack just completed with over 300 project submissions and thousands of developers. And so all of this whole community is what's powering the growth within, and specifically some of the applications that are building on Filecoin. So please welcome the second Filecoin Frontier cohort graduate accelerator. And I want to just start this speech by giving a quick reminder for folks that are listening today. Now, our collective vision for Web3 will really only come to fruition if outstanding developers and entrepreneurs, just like the teams presenting today, are incredibly successful. And so really, it's our duty as engaged community members to help them succeed. So I have a few asks right off the bat for the folks listening. If you're an active community member, please bring your energy to demo day. Be engaged in chat, make sure these founders know how excited you are about their products. 2, sign up for these teams' products and make sure you give your feedback and input back into the teams presenting so they can improve. 3, spread the word, help these teams grow both their protocols and their respective user bases. And 4, help refer developers, product folks, business candidates so they can help grow their teams. And of course, anything else that you can do to help them succeed. If creative and innovative developers like these teams are successful, I promise that will accelerate the transition to Web3. So please be engaged and helpful as they kick off their entrepreneurial journeys. Now, I'll take a few minutes just to take a quick look back at Filecoin in 2021. In the first year, the Filecoin community has built one of the largest data storage networks on the planet. It's estimated roughly to be the size of Google Cloud in 2018 and about 1% of total cloud storage today. The community has built the least expensive large-scale storage network in the world. It's currently less than 1% of the cost of centralized storage, which is truly remarkable. 3, they built an environment where builders can thrive. Over the last year or so, 15,000 developers have engaged in hackathons, 300 or more applications are live today, and 500 new teams are entering the space, just like the 5 that we'll be presenting today. We built the storage network of Web3 with over 23 million NFTs stored on Filecoin and integrations with most of the major smart contract blockchains, and over 25 categories of use cases represented, which I'll touch on a few today. There are over 8,000 contributors of Filecoin on GitHub, and it's one of the most actively developed blockchains in Web3. And over the course of the last year, 3,600 storage providers have added 14 exabytes of storage to the network. That's up from less than 2 exabytes at the beginning of last year and less than 1,000 storage providers. So we've seen tremendous growth in 2021. We've also seen a massive community, a grassroots community of folks organized all over the world. We hosted this 3-day event, which was called a Filecoin Orbit late last year. And just in those 3 days, 35 events happened all over the world across 12 countries, 5 continents with over 25,000 attendees, which was incredible. Now, Filecoin is not just software. It's really building a rapidly growing ecosystem of thousands of talented builders that are working to build killer use cases on top of the protocol. And so I'll touch on a few of those today. First, as the core infrastructure of Web3, Filecoin has integrated with, I think, about 3/4 of the major smart contract blockchains in 2021, with the rest planned for early this year. And all of these have come with joint grant programs or joint hackathons to encourage new developers and new projects to adopt. Ethereum was the first major bridge that we did in the late 2020 with the help of Consensus. But over the course of 2021, lots of other blockchains have joined the fray, from dApp to Polygon to Chainlink to Near, and many, many more. Over the course of last year, over 23 million NFTs were stored on Filecoin using NFT.storage, and there are many more that are stored not using NFT.storage as well. That's over 3 NFTs uploaded every second, which is absolutely incredible. And that's up from 15 million NFTs at the beginning of this year just till today, which is incredible. And a whole bunch of new NFT startups have joined the fray, from Curio Digital, which actually graduated from the first cohort of Filecoin Frontier, led by LongHashX Ventures last year. They've raised a ton of money and are really recruiting some of the biggest names in entertainment to create officially licensed digital collectibles. We've seen tons of growth in metaverse and gaming, from Mona, which is building a metaverse gallery for 3D art, to Metaverse AI that also graduated from the LongHashX Accelerator, which is building high fidelity 3D avatars with some of the most advanced engines, to OP Games, a gaming company that also graduated from the first cohort of LongHashX Ventures. They're building a platform designed for players to discover HTML5 games and compete in tournament competitions while buying OP NFTs. We've seen a ton of progress in video and audio. Tons of different use cases, from Huddle01, which also actually graduated from the last LongHashX cohort, which is building a decentralized video conferencing platform with an SDK, custom domains, and an in-depth analysis dashboard. They're actually focusing on rural markets in developing countries who have bad access to the internet backbone, with an initial focus of the educational vertical. Audius, which is one of the most popular audio streaming apps that is a competitor to Spotify, Inflow Music, Currents FM, and many, many others. And we've seen a whole bunch of other different types of use cases, from secured finance, which is playing in DeFi, Radix, which is building real operating systems for the biology lab on IPFS and Filecoin, WeatherXM, and CryptoStat, which is launching satellites into space. We've seen a ton of really large Web2 users start to adopt Filecoin as well, from the Shoah Foundation uploading tons of video testimony from genocide survivors, the Columbia University Max Planck Institute, which is uploading a ton of climate change data, the Internet Archive, which is backing up every version of the internet, and Gainforest, which is uploading all sorts of snapshots of the world from satellite images to basically track the deforestation and the impact of climate change on the world. We've seen tons of adoption in browsers from Opera and Brave, enabling 250 million combined monthly active users, and many other browsers to join the fray in 2022. And I do want to mention that the global data sphere that we're playing in is going to 3x in the next 4 years. Currently, this is absolutely dominated by 3 companies, Google Cloud, AWS, and Microsoft Azure. And I can't see a world where that's the right solution in 3 or 4 years. So as an alternative solution, the Filecoin network is super excited to be a small part of the transformation of the global data sphere in the future. Now, I'll spend a rapid fire version of what the community should expect in 2022. There's all sorts of teams in the Filecoin ecosystem building a whole bunch of stuff, including enabling smart user contracts on Filecoin, which is called the Filecoin Virtual Machine. You can expect this to launch mid-year with tons of testnet versions of it before, which will enable a whole bunch of use cases on top of Filecoin. Computation over data on Filecoin is going to be a big theme, where you can unlock a whole bunch of different use cases without necessarily unsealing data under Filecoin. And of course, scaling chain state and computation is going to be a big deal, so that applications and use cases on top of Web3 architecture can reach billions of users, not just millions of users today. We want to store virtual worlds on Filecoin in 2022. We want to build the metaverse on top of Filecoin in 2022 and onboard tons of large data sets to really back up humanity's information. And finally, we want to make Filecoin green, a carbon neutral or ideally carbon negative network that really does not impact the environment, in fact, contributes positively to it. There's been a big initiative around Filecoin Green that in the back half of 2021 made a lot of progress. We're actively tracking every single carbon emission that storage providers are emitting, and we're actively trying to reduce that. Finally, I wanted to leave the 5 teams presenting today in the Filecoin track with just a few thoughts for them as they enter the Web3 ecosystem. For the 5 teams, you guys are absolutely incredible entrepreneurs. And really today marks a critical transition moment where you go from not only getting to showcase your products to the world, but now you become leaders in the Web3 ecosystem. Developers, entrepreneurs, community members, they will start to look up to you as important stakeholders and mentors. And that's an honor that you should cherish as you move forward here. I've been an entrepreneur many times, and this phase of the company is really fun. All the mentors in the room, your peers, and myself, we're all here to support you on the next phase of your journey. So never feel like you are alone, and reach out for support anytime. So a few pieces of advice. First, remember that you are pioneers of the Web3 movement. Be ambassadors for the next wave of innovators. The quality of the community within Web3 and the Filecoin and IPFS ecosystems, those will really dictate the success of the larger movement. So as the early adopters, be welcoming and helpful to new developers entering the ecosystems. Remember, take ownership of the underlying protocols and their roadmaps. Web3 protocols are yours to evolve. If you think there are things missing, there are gaps or improvements to be made, work with the community to enact that change. And 3, take a long-term view and leverage the community. We're collectively supporting each other to make the right long-term decisions and embed our values in Web3 code. If we approach it with that kind of a long-term view, Web3 won't necessarily make the same mistakes that Web2 made in its architecture. And finally, I just want to say a huge thank you to LongHash Ventures. They have been incredible program designers, have provided a ton of mentorship and support for these teams over the last 3 to 4 months. And looking at the last cohort and the success of them, they're continue to be incredible long-term partners and investors in these companies for years to come. So thank you, LongHash, for putting on this incredible event and helping these teams succeed within Web3. So that was my presentation on accelerating the transition to Web3. I will punt it back to Pranav and Buri to introduce the teams.
Great. Well, thanks, Colin. And I would like to reciprocate and say a big thank you to you and the entire team at Protocolin Labs. As you mentioned, this is the second time we've partnered to run an accelerator with a Filecoin track. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you and the entire Protocolin Labs team. I think that the teams that have been in these two batches, the current one and the one we ran about a year ago, have been very lucky to have the mentorship from Protocolin Labs across technical areas, across BD, growth, strategy, etc. So we're very grateful, and we're very happy to have had you as a partner in this. And I also wanted to say thanks a lot for the update on Filecoin. I think that the traction in the last 12 months has been absolutely amazing, and we're super excited about what's to come for 2022 and beyond. So thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, now that we've heard from Colin and we have an overview of what to expect for Filecoin ecosystem over the coming year and beyond, let's now switch to hear from the projects and from the 5 teams that were part of the Filecoin track in the accelerator over the last 12 months. So first up, we have Lit Protocol. Now, Lit is building critical infrastructure that's going to boost the growth and adoption of DAO models, and they're enabling a future in which your wallet holdings will become a passport to Web 2 and Web 3 content. So I'll hand it over to David. Hey, David, good to see you.
Hello. Great to see you. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Always a pleasure to take a step into the metaverse.
Fantastic. Well, over to you. We're excited to hear what you have to share with us.
Wonderful. Yeah, first things first, thanks to Filecoin and LongHash and for everyone for being here. My name is David Snyder. I'm one of the co-founders at Lit Protocol, which is a decentralized composability network. And what we're going to cover today is first, what is Lit Protocol and the architecture, talk about a few use cases of this, look at a demo, and then kind of cast forward into the direction that we're heading. So with that being said, we'll get underway. So Lit Protocol is an access control network. Functionally, what that means is it is a network of computers that is able to grant a blockchain user access to some off-chain resource, whether that's data on Filecoin or a live stream or a server, when that user meets certain conditions on chain. And so for a bit about the architecture, what the network is comprised of is a series of nodes, and these nodes individually will validate an on-chain credential, such as user owns NFT, or user is a member of a DAO, or their address is listed in an array within a smart contract. The nodes independently validate that and then create a decryption share or a key share that is sent down to the user, who compiles them in the client. And what the user receives at the end of this process is either a symmetric encryption key to decrypt some content, or a JavaScript web token, which is just a normal web access token, to access some server. And we'll take a look at a couple examples here. But before we do, just a bit more detail. This is an open source modal that we call our share dialog. And so if you've ever used something like Google Drive or Dropbox, you'll be familiar with typing in somebody's email address to share. In our Web3 paradigm, the credential is no longer an email address, but rather it is some data that is on the blockchain, such as the user's wallet address, their token holdings, whether or not they're a member of a DAO. And you can see it can get sophisticated about how you want to set up access control for a given resource. And most importantly, with a network like this is the security and trust mitigation. So as mentioned, this is a decentralized network. We do have planned crypto economic incentives, staking and slashing associated with the network. Furthermore, the network does the entirety of their operations inside of a secure execution environment. And the network, using some sophisticated encryption and decentralized key generation, no party in the network ever has the key. As I mentioned in the first slide, there's no centralized key master here. This is really the network decentralized approach to access control. So with that introduction, let's talk about a couple examples, and we'll look at some apps. One use case that just went live this week was Lit Protocol powering the encrypted messages on Orbis, which is a Twitter-like client that is running entirely on decentralized web tech architecture. They're using Ceramic, and then they implemented Lit Protocol to handle the encryption of the direct messages still stored on decentralized storage. Another example of Lit Protocol being used in decentralized applications is with Creaton. Creaton is a Patreon-like application that's built entirely on DWeb infrastructure. And the way that that system works is that a creator uploads some private content, the same way that would on something like a Patreon. And then the fan can stream payments to that creator via Superfluid. And then the way this application works is they are using Lit Protocol to confirm, is the fan streaming payments? If so, let that fan decrypt that content. Where in this case, the on-chain credential, rather than being an NFT or owning an NFT, is streaming payments to a given creator via Superfluid. Lit Protocol is also live in metaverse apps that are more in the Web 2 category. For example, we've done an integration with GatherTown. As you can see in this top example, the player is not able to enter the space. And what is being checked is their token holdings, essentially their on-chain credentials. Whereas if they have the credential to pass into the room, they can enter, and in this case, do a little happy dance. Now we've gone ahead and integrated Lit Protocol on our team and with our community into a variety of Web 2 platforms already, including being able to create token-gated content on WordPress, specific token-gated roles in Discord, being able to use NFTs as access to merch on Shopify-based e-commerce stores, token-gated on-demand video and live stream hosted by Cloudflare, token-gated and blockchain credential-gated Zoom meetings and webinars, as well as files stored on Google Drive if somebody desires to use that other than decentralized storage. And additionally, as I mentioned earlier, we've also built some integrations between Lit Protocol and Web3 networks, specifically Filecoin and Ceramic, which supplies as a network for dynamic data and data streams on top of Filecoin. So with that, I'll take a moment and show you a demo. So this site that I'm on right now, this is litgateway.com. This is where a lot of the applications and reference implementations are. And I'll go ahead and click into the IPFS app. And so in this example, I'm going to upload some content. And this content is encrypted client side. So on the machine, there's not a third party that's doing the encryption. And then that data key for that content is stored with a set of access control conditions that we looked at earlier. So for example, I could say somebody who owns 3 CryptoPunks can decrypt this, or somebody who's a member of this DAO can decrypt this. And Lit Protocol manages that validation and provisioning of the key in a totally decentralized way. So with that in mind and what we're doing, we're extremely excited about access control. And as was reflected in kind of the earlier talk, we are quite early. One thing that we like to discuss on our team from time to time is how the internet metaphorically is a toddler, and how we arrived here. When human babies are about 8 months old, they develop something called object permanence. There's other animals out there that can do this as well. And this is the capacity to realize that something exists even when you can't see it. And so to extend this metaphor, the internet just achieved object permanence with the discovery and invention of Bitcoin quite recently. And our view is that the internet is growing up, and it is growing up in community with Web3 and with decentralization and encryption. And so what the future holds is a world of data sovereignty, decentralization, and coordination between individuals who are able to retain a level of power and digital ownership in this emerging new internet that we're all developing together. So that's Lit Protocol. And as part of this, you can go to this website that you see here, so litgateway.com, and then click around and claim one of these launch NFTs. You also find our links to Twitter and Discord there. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the presentations.
Awesome. Thanks, David. Super exciting stuff that you and Chris are building. And also wanted to thank you and Chris for donating a Lit Genesis NFT. For those of you in Crypto Voxels, feel free to go down to the basement. You can check it out there. We'll be raffling one of these, so hopefully one of you will be one of the lucky winners of this great NFT. Thanks again.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. So now, if we stay on the topic of social and community infrastructure and tooling, let's now go to Chris at Grape Protocol. And as Chris comes on, I'll introduce Grape. So Grape is a full stack tooling and one-stop shop for communities to create decentralized social networks on Solana. It is a very cool tool. I'm super excited to see the demo. Chris, welcome to Demo Day, and over to you. We're excited to hear from you about what you're building.
Good to be here, guys. Can you hear me well?
We can hear perfectly.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Barry. Thank you so much to LongHash, to Filecoin, and of course to Emerson. I'm very excited to be here. I'm a core contributor of the Grape Network, which is a toolset for building communities and DAOs on Solana. The Grape Network is comprised by the Grape Protocol and the Grape community. I will focus more on the Grape Protocol, and soon you'll understand the role that the community plays. Grape Protocol is a toolset for building token-based membership communities on Solana. And with the power of the Grape Protocol, you can create and reward online communities and unlock their value. The first tool that we have in this toolkit is the Grape Access, which creates exclusive membership portals for NFT and token holders on Discord and on Twitter, and soon in more platforms for the most popular Solana projects. I'll focus a little bit more on the Grape Access because it is a fully functional part of the toolset, of the Grape toolset, and it is far superior to what the competition offers. At the moment, when a new community member wants to join a coin, any project on Solana or any chain or on any ecosystem, he will face a huge cluttered list of channels and an impossibility to actually get involved with the community. With the Grape Protocol, we can connect user holdings and balances and assign roles to those communities that have integrated our tools. So once a new community member joins, he will find very few channels on the servers. This is just a random server. I'm using the Grape Protocol server, and I'm looking at the server as a newcomer. It's very easy. It starts from the Grape Access. The only thing the user needs to do is click on verify.grapes.network. It will take him to the dashboard. He will connect, and he will have to accept the transaction and sign. After that, he'll find himself in the dashboard. The dashboard will give him access to all the different Discords that he holds coins for or NFTs. And our tool is superior to the competition just because it can read and assign roles to NFTs, coins, votes that are deposited in a governance program. It can read traits of NFTs and combinations of all the above. So any project out there can provide exclusivity to its members by choosing to go with a group of different characteristics. Now there is competition in other chains, but it doesn't come close to what Grape offers. What happens usually is we find a fragmented industry where the user, the community leader, or the founder of the project that wants to create that community needs to integrate different services. Examples would be if someone wants to create a DAO on Ethereum, he would have to go through Rally.io, go through Triroll, go through Collabland, and finally go through TipCC. The Grape toolset provides all those services. We have intra-DAO payments, which is TipCC. We can do that through MinFi. we have Rally.io through our dashboard and through some partners providing social coins, and we have what Collabland is bringing with our gated Grape gates. This creates a much more user-friendly approach to creating DAOs. Additionally, we provide the whole infrastructure for the voting and interaction of the DAOs and the sub-DAOs. So you can see here, this is the Grape DAO, and you can see that all the votes are on chain. There is a treasury, and there are different commands and different votes that will trigger instructions, meaning that if someone votes for X amount of Grape to go to a certain address, they can vote, and if the vote passes, it will automatically send those coins to the address assigned. The experience becomes much better the moment you actually verify your wallet on the server you are interested. So by clicking here, you'll find that more channels have actually unlocked, and if you actually go have more coins or have the actual coin that the community requests you to have, you'll find even more things to read and find on the server, and this happens on every server. Grape at the moment has been very successful. We have over 600 partners, over 95% of all NFT projects and coin projects of Solana. There are very few projects that haven't implemented our solution, and most of them are in the queue for implementing it in the future. We started in September 2021 with 3,000 verified wallets, and today we have experienced 100x increase in users, and there are over 300,000 addresses registered with the Grape tools. And it is going parabolic. We expect to have over 500,000 within the next month. On the Grape dashboard, you'll find here that there is a news feed with all the different projects that the user is member, and soon you'll find a new tab for the NFT marketplace. You can see your collection here. You can send your NFTs between your wallets or between community members, and soon you'll have here a new tab, most probably within the week, that will showcase a NFT marketplace that any community will be able to implement and create some revenues in some of the royalties, and some of the trading fees of those NFTs are going to be going to the treasury of each project implementing the toolset. We also aim and we are on the process of building a reputation system, and we expect all this information that I just told you to be stored on chain, and this is where Filecoin comes to play. This is where we are actually exploring our choices and how we're going to store all the achievements and all the roles and all the work that every community member has achieved. All this information being on chain will make any community immune to deplatforming events, and nobody will be able to take it away from the user. We expect to grow much more, and we want to bake into the toolset a reputation system that will also exist online and will be in the form of a non-tradable token. we hope in the next couple of months to have all these ready. The beautiful thing is that we have the Grape Network has a community of over 25,000 people, which is our testing ground and gives us direction on which tools to build and which tools are going to extract to bring the most value to the ecosystem. And this is unlike our competition with the companies I mentioned, like Tryroll and DeepCC and Collabland and Rally.io, that do not have their own communities and they're actually building in blind mode, since we also had a roadmap that started with many things that did not actually materialize because the communities and the ecosystem didn't need it. So we're fortunate to have such a big community to give us direction. Being on this accelerator, we are mostly looking for portfolio synergies, since we are in the middle of the ecosystem and we can connect projects to the dashboard and to other communities and extract their value. We're also interested in sale of token allocations. So if you're interested, please contact me or LongHash. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Very interesting and super pumped to see the explosive growth you've been having. Thanks for that presentation.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. So now let's move on to actually storing on Filecoin. Now, what if you could have permanent storage on Filecoin that's cheaper than the alternatives and without worrying about recurring payments and renewing contracts? So let's hear from Nandit from Lighthouse, who's bringing low-cost permanent storage to Filecoin. Hi, Nandit.
Hey, Pranav, buddy.
The floor is yours.
Yeah, I'll share my screen. Hopefully you all can see my screen.
Yep.
Web3 means true ownership, but to achieve that, we need to move from renting our own files to truly owning them, and that's where Lighthouse comes in. Hi everyone, I am Nandit and welcome to Lighthouse. Lighthouse is a permanent storage protocol which allows the ability to pay once and store your files forever. We have a smart contract-based endowment pool whose job is to pay for the user's files till perpetuity. Hence, we are bringing permanent storage to Filecoin. But why Lighthouse? Using Lighthouse, there is no need to keep track of your files ever again. It is much cheaper than the alternates like Grape Network, and it easily integrates with existing dApps. Let's see how is it different. Filecoin and Grape are the two prominent storage protocols in the market today. With Filecoin, we get a huge storage capacity in exabytes, and it has a big miner network, leading to a very cheaper storage option. Whereas Grape has a different proposition. It allows the ability to pay once and store your files forever. But it has one problem. It can be pretty expensive at times, ranging around $10 a GB to over $40 a GB on a high traffic day, as we have seen in last couple of months, is insane pricing. And that's where Lighthouse comes in, bringing the huge miner network and cheaper storage of Filecoin coupled with the pay once store forever proposition of the Grape protocol. Let's go on to our demo. So this is our website, lighthouse.storage. And for developers, we have released a CLI tool and NPM package that they can use in their apps. They can easily install using the install command. And then they have to create a wallet and top it up with some tokens to cover the transaction fees. Then they are just one click away to deploy their files permanently to the Lighthouse protocol. They can easily check the status of their files, all their applications that have been made, and all the miners that their files have been stored upon. Coming back, for storage, we are using IPFS and miner network of Filecoin. Our smart contracts are multi-chain, deployed on chains like Polygon, ETH, BSC, etc. Our economics involves mechanisms like staking and accruing fees, which grows our endowment pool. Talking about the global cloud storage market, it is pretty huge. It is already growing at a rate of 22% per annum and is expected to be over $137 billion by 2025. The decentralized storage market is already valued 10% of that and is still growing. Now that Lighthouse is in place, there are a variety of applications possible, ranging from NFT storage to DAO storage to reputation systems. Sky is the limit for what developers can build on top of Lighthouse. And we are already seeing community members experiment around NFTs and archival solutions. Our roadmap is pretty set for the coming year. Last month, we have already released our alpha and have an active community on Discord of over 500 members in just a short span of time. This quarter is focused on further testing, beta launch, releasing our white paper, and onboarding the node providers, followed by our mainnet launch and other developer SDKs in the coming quarter. So our team consists of me. I'm Nandit. Previously, I've worked as a software developer at Fleek, whereas my colleague Ravish previously has been doing deep learning research and has multiple research publications under him before he went blockchain full-time last year. Together, we have been hacking on various projects from our college days. We have been backed by Protocol Labs and LongHash Ventures. And just this last month, we saw an active participation on our Gitcoin grant, where over 700 individuals contributed over $22,000 to the Lighthouse grant, which is pretty big for us. So, using our previous funds, we have already achieved our milestones for Alpha, and now we are raising $750,000 at a valuation of $10 million. And we are looking for investors and strategic partners who believe in our vision and can help us achieve our coming milestones. And if you are one of them, please reach out to us at my email, nandit@lighthouse.storage. So remember, Lighthouse brings the best of both Arweave and Filecoin to you. And thank you. Enjoy the whole presentations.
Thanks a lot, Nandit. That was an exciting presentation, and I'm excited to see your project go live soon. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Now, keeping on the storing on Filecoin theme is ItsMyne, a sports-based NFT solution that's bridging the gap between Reddit and NBA Top Shot. Now let's hear from Atharva from ItsMyne. Hey guys, hey Atharva, hey Ayan.
Hey, hi Pranav, hi Buri, hi everyone.
Hi Pranav.
Guys.
Hi Buri.
So the floor is yours. Feel free to go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Let me know when you can see it. Do you see it now? Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I am Atharva Sabnas, the founder of NFT Labs, and with me is my co-founder and CTO, Ayan Wali. So rather than buying and trading NFTs on marketplaces and then talking about these same NFTs on platforms like Discord servers and Telegram groups, what if we told you that you can do both the trading and the talking in a single place? We are building ItsMyne, which is a social plus marketplace for official NFTs from all sports. So think of this as a marriage between NBA Top Shot and Reddit, but for all sports and NFTs. Because ItsMyne is a mobile-first NFT platform, we are going to enable Web2 users to sign up and start their collection in just under 2 minutes. They can even engage in social conversation around these NFTs with their fellow community members, as well as with the publishers of the said NFTs. And to make it Web2 friendly in the true sense, we have integrated a custodial wallet technology at the backend, which means that users don't have to worry about having a MetaMask or another crypto wallet from the get-go. They can simply sign up with their email password combination and start making purchases in both crypto and fiat. I will now hand over the screen to my colleague Ayan, who will actually give you a quick live demo of the ItsMyne product itself. Ayan, over to you. So, like I said, people can simply sign up with their email password combination. There is no need to have a MetaMask or a crypto wallet integrated immediately. Having said this, obviously, when people purchase an NFT and so on, they have the option to export it into their own custodial wallet. But this custodial wallet solution helps eliminate a lot of the onboarding friction that is otherwise seen in some other NFT marketplaces. So once the people complete a short on onboarding form, they basically are generated a profile. And with this profile, they join the ItsMyne community, wherein the couple of things that they can do is they can obviously interact with and see all of the NFTs that our sports partners have listed on them. They can engage in the commerce of these NFTs using fiat or cryptocurrencies. And the main thing over here is that they can engage in all kinds of social chatter around these NFTs with a Reddit style commenting interface, which is moderated by using AI that enables the best content to democratically rise to the top. Thanks, Ayan. So back to the presentation. We know our clients already include some leading global sports brands, and with these partners, we are distributing a variety of utility, gaming, collectible, asset-backed, as well as metaverse NFTs. We have been awarded grants by Polygon Studios, the Near Protocol, as well as the Cello Foundation. And our partners include companies like Book My Show and Epic Games. All of the NFTs that we create and co-create with our partners are stored exclusively on Filecoin. And our traction till date includes the fact that we have already raised about 1.7 million from a bunch of global VCs. And in addition to the LongHashX Filecoin Frontier Accelerator, we are also we are an alumni of Antler Singapore cohort, an alumni of Cello Camp, where we won an Innovating on the Money award. And we are part of Hype Sports Accelerator, which is the world's leading sports tech accelerator. We've got a strong team that is based out of India and Kazakhstan, and the team's domain expertise is in mobile software, blockchain, as well as business development. Our future plans include an exclusive partnership with Mythoverse Studios to build a mythology-inspired metaverse. We are also partnering exclusively with Tiger Shroff, who is the Indian equivalent of Sylvester Stallone / Rambo. And he basically is the Rambo of Bollywood. And with him, we are developing a suite of NFT-based play-to-earn games. And we are in talks with some top gaming companies to license his digital avatar / skin into those games, similarly to how Dwayne Johnson licensed his skin to the new season of Fortnite. And finally, we are partnering with Dharma Productions, which is currently India's largest movie production studio for a variety of metaverse and NFT applications. To support our journey of growth and to leverage the high quality IP that we have secured exclusive rights to, we are currently raising $14 million and are happy to discuss details with any interested investors. A key takeaway over here is that the IP licensing agreements are in place. All the partnerships are exclusive and multi-year. The development roadmap is clear for all, and Polygon Studios is the lead investor for this fundraise round. Thank you.
Thanks, Atharva. Loving those partnerships formed. Thanks for that presentation.
Thank you.
Now, next up is Go from Matters Lab, a project with a vision to empower content creators to collaboratively create and monetize digital assets while controlling their own data. Hi, Go. Welcome to the LongHash Ventures Demo Day.
Hi, Pranav. Hi, Biri. It's good seeing you.
Hi. All right, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the introduction. Yeah, so let me share my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yep, you're good to go.
Yep, 1 second. Sorry, seems to be the screen sharing. Can I see it now? Can I see my slides? Okay. So I want to start with the question that's behind the product we built. So we know that Web3 will become truly useful when it provides something new. And internet has always been a space that's collectively created by its users. But in Web3, one thing's different because for the first time, users can actually own the content they create. So the question we keep asking is, in Web3, how should users connect and collaborate in a financially sustainable way? Or in other words, how should content creators make money? So here's a context for the question. We know that creator economy has been exploding for the past 5 years. So if we look at the number of creators who directly monetize with their supporters, the increase was almost exponential. But if we take a step back and look at the bigger picture, the direct monetizations, whether it's monetary tips, courses, or subscriptions, it's only 6% of the creator economy. And while the content creators are looking for new monetization methods, Web3 actually allows brands to be collectively owned and traded. So this creates a huge opportunity for the rest 90% of the content creators. And on the other hand, the NFT explosion from last year have proven that digital assets that can be owned and traded is another revenue model for creators. So we don't know whether it's sustainable or not, but it's already a very good start. So we at Manta Lab, we're taking this chance to enable the creator economy in Web3. What we envisioned is a new kind of social network where the users are independent yet connected, and the creations, curations, and collaborations in that network are fairly rewarded. And that's why we started with Matters.news. It's a social network for content creators. On Matters.news, users can discover articles, they can translate it to their local languages, they can view the content hash stored on IPFS and Filecoin, and follow the creators they like. As you can see the IPFS public gateways here. You can check out the other content from the user, and you can discover other users from the profile as well. And at the same way, token economics that's focusing on curators, because users can curate articles through likes, which are turned into cryptocurrencies. And they can also donate to an article, which determines the ranking and discovery mechanisms on the front of Matters.news. On the other hand, we're also introducing collaborative ownership to our communities through a new type of NFT. So the first version of that is called Travelogger, which we launched November last year. It's the first version, and they are NFT avatars. But the interesting thing that that they can also be used as on-chain notebooks, where owners can take turns writing content into the NFT. And all the profits that gain from the NFT are shared among all the contributors. And on a more experimental side, we're launching a product space. It is an experimentation of how public resources can be privately owned, and how do we balance profit and public. The space takes a form of where users can take control of one or more pixels to create their final result. The crucial and also the most interesting part of the space is that the pixels are packaged into NFTs and traded under Harburger tax, with the tax generated distributed as universal basic income. So Harburger tax basically allow public resources to be temporarily privatized and profitable, while generating tax that benefits all participants. Both of these ideas have been widely discussed in the literature, but there have not been a large-scale experiments. So with the 80,000 users in our community, this will be the first large-scale experiment, and we will be able to see how well these mechanisms hold up. So back to our original question, how should collaborations and creations be financially sustainable in Web3? So we believe that we need a decentralized social graph. This is fundamental. But we also need to design a ownership that is that supports collaboration, and also token economics and governance model that incentives creation and curation. And these fundamental pieces are gradually come to pieces. And on top of this, we're now building applications and delivering them to our users for content creators and consumers. And these applications are interconnected and without boundaries. And a couple more words on our founding team. Our founding team have a balance of industry experience and technical know-how. Our CEO, Jeping, she's a seasoned journalist and editor, and have founded several successful media companies in Greater China region. And our COO, Beryl, she has experience of managing startups, NGOs, and crypto funds in both the United States and Hong Kong. And I myself, as a CTO, have years of experience of building distributed systems for both startups and big companies such as Oracle. For media reports, we have a lot of them both in Chinese, English, and other languages. And here are some examples. If you're interested, you can take a look at them. For our current roadmap, last year we finished our pre-A round of fundraising, and we were fortunate to have the support of many great partners such as Protocolin and LongHash, and also some more traditional institutes such as Google News Initiative and Mozilla. So last year, after we launched our Travelogue NFT, this month we're going to launch our support for Ethereum or any EVM address integration in Matters.news, and then we'll be launching our on-chain social graph, and eventually by the end of this year we'll be launching our governance token. But before that, we'll also have another round of pre-token fundraising. So if you're interested in participating, whether as an investor or as a user, as a developer, you can find us either on Twitter, on Discord, and also, of course, on Matters.news. Thank you for your time.
Great. Thanks, Guo. Very exciting to have had you, and exciting to hear about all the things that you're building over at Matters Lab. So thank you again to all of the Filecoin Track projects that I've presented today. Super exciting products and solutions that you're building, and very innovative uses of the Filecoin ecosystem. So you're all doing amazing. We're very excited to see how you continue to grow over the coming months. Now, we finished the first part of our demo day with the presentations from the Filecoin track. So now let's switch over to the DeFi track. Now, in the DeFi track, we also have 5 projects. They were all supported by the Asia DeFi Network. Now, the Asia DeFi Network was a platform started by LongHash Ventures to bring founders, investors, and communities together to support DeFi and other Web3 projects, and to work closely with the founders as they developed and grew their protocols.
Yeah, an example of how ADN supports Web3 founders is when we actually help Balancer think through decentralized governance and the various pathways a project can take. Now, this culminated into a governance roundtable with members such as Tani from Aave and Jordan from Synthetics, amongst others, as well as the publication of our Web3 governance blueprint.
And also as part of that roundtable was Arthur Cheong, the founder of DeFiance Capital and a crypto G, who we have with us here today. Hey, Arthur, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. Now, DeFiance Capital is one of the largest DeFi-focused funds based in Asia, and Arthur has been instrumental in supporting the Asia DeFi, helping some of those early-stage DeFi projects on some Web3 native topics like tokenomics, like governance. He's been a regular contributor to ADN, and as always, it's a pleasure to have you here with us. Super excited to hear your overview, the landscape of Web3, where we are today, and the outlook for 2022.
Sounds good. Yeah, cool. Let me get started straight to the point. I will generally focus more on the DeFi side, since this is the keynote for DeFi track. So for most part of 2021, I think we have witnessed a very volatile change of events for DeFi. It started the year, I would say, pretty exciting. Did we see a lot of new and innovative DeFi project launching, and it was a very exciting bull market. And I think you can see this especially from Q1, where a lot of the project went up like more than a few 100%, both in terms of their price and also in terms of their fundamental metrics, such as their TVR, for DEXs is their volume, all went up a lot at the same time. But I think that it's also the victim of its own success, where most of the DeFi were built on Ethereum at that point of time, and the gas fee just rise to an unsustainable level that essentially capped its growth, because it's just not possible for the Ethereum network to accommodate so much usage at the moment without a layer 2 solution in place. And at the point of time, layer 2 wasn't ready yet. And as a result, a lot of the DeFi activity have shifted to other layer 1s or layer 2 like Polygon and Binance Smart Chain. So I think these two are the first two chain that capture a lot of the new users because of their low gas fee features and their higher performance, but with a sacrifice of decentralization. So I think that a lot of the DeFi project have, as a result, deployed some of their their second deployment on Polygon or BSC, and that have actually attracted a lot of users as well. So I think after Q1, we actually see a lot of growth coming from the non-Ethereum DeFi ecosystem, starting from BSC and also Polygon. And then after that, I think when we transit from Q2 to Q3, we actually see Solana starting to grow very quickly as well, with a lot of various reasons, notably with the backing of FTX and also with some of the DeFi primitive finally start taking off as well. And I think, and while the DeFi ecosystem on Ethereum has been a little bit stagnant at that point of time because of the gas fee issue, and the attention have also shifted a little bit to other blockchain. As we move forward from Q3 to Q4, we went through a mini correction where the market is a bit slow, but then we also see the DeFi ecosystem on other EVM compatible chain start to take off, notably Avalanche, and also quite a fair number of activity on Phantom as well. So all these chains are EVM compatible, which means that you do not need to rewrite your codes from scratch if you already write the code for the Ethereum version. So we have all seen that their total value lock went through a pretty exponential growth. Yeah, and also another one to take note, which is not EVM but it's still done very well, is the Luna ecosystem, which the main purpose is to grow the usage of a UST. And UST right now is the largest decentralized stablecoin by supply. It has more than $10 billion of total supply, and I would say majority of the growth coming from the second half of 2021. So I think that kind of sums up the crypto, the DeFi market for 2021. We see a lot more ecosystem outside of Ethereum flourishing because they are more able to capture the growth of the new user, and we are indeed seeing a lot of the new user coming into the Web3 and crypto space. So just to give an example, Phantom Wallet, I would say currently the largest crypto wallet in Solana ecosystem. They went from launch to almost 2 million monthly active user in around 8 months, I would say. It took, I think, MetaMask around 4 years to reach that number. I mean, obviously, the market is just growing, usually grow a lot faster during bull market, and you get a lot of overlap of user that's also using MetaMask and also want to try out Solana as well. But I think just a good example of how fast the space is growing right now. Yeah, and if you can onboard the wider user base, that is usually very beneficial in the current market conditions. So I think when we look at 2022, I actually expect some of the similar trend to continue in the DeFi space. I think that layer 2 solution is great. I think that we are going to see more and more of them being used, but we're also going to see the whole so-called multi-chain thesis continue to stay, because I think that it's just that if there are some of the community members started using other chain first, it's just that they feel more loyal to the chain, and also the lower transaction fee and higher performance is also a big reason for some of the users with lesser account balances to play and experiment with it as well. So I think that the user growth will continue. I would not be surprised if some of the other ecosystem hitting 10 million of unique wallet address on a monthly basis outside of Ethereum. I think Ethereum already have that number. Yeah, I think that a lot of other blockchain, probably Binance Smart Chain, already have that number as well. And if you, on a more bullish side, it's even possible for them to hit let's say 20 million by end of the year as well. So I think this is the user growth we are looking at for DeFi and crypto in general. And I think that I expect more and more DeFi to be built on non-Ethereum ecosystem, although I think Ethereum is still going to grow very fast as well. But it's just that due to the size of the market, is on a percentage basis not going to be as fast as other ecosystem. Yeah, and I think in terms of ecosystem, I think in terms of what builder can expect, I think previously during the first 2 years of DeFi, a lot of the builder kind of expect that we know that Ethereum is not very scalable right now, so we are okay to build for a smaller group of more hardcore audience. But I think right now it's also okay to build a more mass market or a based kind of DeFi application, because the blockchain you build on are able to accommodate that level of user base. So this is, I think, one of the big difference. And also due to the improvement in the base layer architecture, you can also build some of the functionality that is not that possible on Ethereum. So I think when people say that a lot of the non-Ethereum ecosystem have a lack of innovation, I think part of it is true, but that also means that there's also a lot of room for entrepreneurs and innovators to build out new kind of product feature that is not possible on Ethereum previously, and just to unlock more use cases. Yeah, and yeah, I think some other areas of verticals. Okay, let's talk about DeFi. I think some of the more like on a micro level, the product trend that has been more successful lately. One is notably the structured products. So this actually also happened in a traditional finance space that we see the last 2 years since COVID started. Options has become a very popular tools for retails to like gain leverage, and also just to hedge some of their exposure, gain some income by selling cover call or selling cover put. And I think that right now one of the biggest trend in DeFi is also having a route that help the user to automate these kind of strategies. And I think all of them has been experiencing a pretty good growth lately. Some of them even on an unincentivized basis. I think this is still a very new market, and there's still a lot of room for growth. We can see all of them have been done quite well, and I think this is also a source of a more sustainable yield that is backed by selling volatility and like some of the time value of the options. So I expect this sector to continue to do quite well, and it's still a very early stage for the market. I also think that one of the more exciting trend will be the derivative side. I think that last year we have seen the promise of how what kind of potential it can hold, and notably from the launch of DYDX. I expect this year a lot of the product will get more mature, and we can see more use cases being unlocked as well. And I also expect the centralized exchange to continue to face more headwind. So the decentralized alternative will benefit greatly from this. Some of the areas and vertical I am most one of the few areas also worth highlighting. Some of the more mass market oriented product, like we invested in quite a few of them, such as ApeBoard, Zapper, dBank. I think all these will increasingly capture the user and user base, and because this is their gateway into the DeFi world. And in the Web2 space, there's a theory called aggregator theory. So if you are able to aggregate all the activity under your platform, there's a lot of way you can I wouldn't say monetize, but utilize this to a greater benefit. And as the user audience increase, I think it makes sense to simplify the usage of all these DeFi for them. And I think all these DeFi front ends should also do pretty well. And another trend we see is also the gamification of DeFi as well. So one of the DeFi project called DeFi Kingdom has been doing very well by combining some of the gaming elements with the DeFi. So essentially you are playing some mini RPG game. I would say mini, but RPG game to do some of the DeFi activities. And I think there's quite a core group of audience that really love it. So I think this is also fit very nicely with our thesis that we believe that gaming is one of the sector that fit most naturally with crypto. I think that we're going to see a lot of games start to experimenting fitting crypto into their games, and the new sort of like a player economy is going to be unlocked as well. So this is one area that we are bullish on. And actually this also extends to the NFT side, because when we look at gaming, a lot of the gaming asset can be structured as an NFT, and I think this gives the players and the user a lot more ownership of their digital assets in a gaming and a metaverse space. And I think there's a lot of collaboration between this and the gaming side. I mean, actually, like, is very good example. They use the DeFi token economics combined with the gameplay and the NFT marketplace, and have just jumpstarted growth to more than 1 million users on an active basis, and also have generated one of the highest revenue among all the crypto projects so far. Yeah. Another smaller trend, I think it's still very early, but I think that people are going to start to pay more attention, is also on the privacy side. I think that right until now, almost everything on the crypto is on a semi-anonymous basis, which means that you don't know who is behind it, but you can see all the transactions being made by a certain accounts or contracts. And actually, this is a pretty big obstacle for the more institutional or some other player that really need the data privacy to step in. I think some of the privacy preserving projects will be able to gain more and more usage in a manner that it allow these entities or organizations that want to actually very interested to use public chain but are unable to do the privacy feature to start taking the first move out. Yeah, I think a few projects we are invested in are Manta and a few others that to be announced as well. Yeah. So some of the other areas like I mentioned that I'm very excited in 2022 is a combination of DeFi and gaming. I expect more collaboration on this area to happen, and the gaming sector should be one of the highest growth sector of crypto this year. So I think with that, I conclude my keynote. I think the general theme is we are definitely at a stage where the usage and adoption are increasing very rapidly, actually even faster than some of the most optimistic people have imagined. Like me, I would not have imagined the space would be able to grow so quickly on a user-based basis. We see a lot of mass adoption on the NFT side. All the major celebrity fashion icons all have started to experiment in NFT. Recently, we also have Jay Cho, one of the king of Mandel Pop, doing a collaboration with an NFT project, Fanta Bear, and he has also done pretty well. I expect a lot of this integration and collaboration to go into the mainstream side, and we should continue to see the growth on the usage adoption on the Web3 and crypto space.
Great. Well, thanks, Arthur, for giving us that overview. I think super exciting. And just like you, we're also very excited about, one, the continued adoption of Web3 by the general public, and then some of the intersections you mentioned, like DeFi and gaming over the coming year. Thanks for being with us today. Thanks for being a great friend to LongHash Ventures and to Asia DeFi Network.
No problem. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great. So now we're going to move on to the pitches and demos of the projects that were on the DeFi track. And the first one to present is going to be Mike from ApeBoard. As Arthur mentioned, ApeBoard is one of those gateways into DeFi for a lot of people. It's a comprehensive cross-chain DeFi dashboard with more than 180 protocols on more than 15 chains, and some very cool tools for DJs that Mike will take us through. So, hey, Mike, good to see you.
Hey, Stefano, good to see you too. Okay, can you guys see my slide?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Okay, so hi, I'm Mike from ApeBoard, and just I'll give you a little bit of like why we build ApeBoard is like because of the fragmentation in DeFi, right? As a DeFi user myself, right? I was like farming like back in 2020s. Like I was like farming on 4 different chains, and I've been like using like so many DeFi protocol, and it was like very hard to actually manage like all the asset in my portfolio. So I have to do like the main tool I use is like Google Sheet combined with like Zapper and DBank, but still like Google Sheet. There's no like multi-chain version of like DBank or Zapper back then. But I use Google Sheet, and I have to spend around like 30 minutes like trying to lock down like all my balance every single day, right? So that's like the pain, and because of the fragmentation, so many protocol on so many, and that's the main one that causes problem, which is like multi-chain asset management is very difficult, and it takes a lot of time for people to actually to understand their whole portfolio, right? So that's why we built ApeBoard to solve this problem. We are actually the first multi-chain portfolio that coming into the market. So let's look at some feature that ApeBoard have. So the first one is like we have the combined view of your whole portfolio. You can add a whole bunch of like wallet in bundle. Like usually people add like BSC, like Solana, Terra together. So you can view like all the assets as like one single portfolio. See your all wallet balance here. See it's like all your farming as well here, right? So you can also like filter by chain. So you can like filter like by Terra portfolios only, right? And another cool feature about ApeBoard is like we also have what people if you provide LP a lot, we also have like what people really wanted, which is like the implemented loss calculator built in. So you don't have to go to another website to see the implemented loss. We also have the IL calculator built in for BSC as well, and like for the EVM chain, right? We also have recently launched an analytic feature which allow you to see the P&L of your portfolios as a whole, and this actually like have like the beta with Bitcoin, Ethereum. You can see like how your asset perform like if you just like simply hold Ethereum or simply hold Bitcoin, right? And see all your P&Ls. Like I think we are only portfolio that's like provide this feature for the multi-chain one. We also support like a NFT gallery. You can view like all the NFT in your portfolio together. This one have only one NFT. It's not gonna make it. And we also have like more of like the degen tool. We call it like Ape tool products, where you can, if you have like a coin token in your wallet and you want to like try to see like where you can get a yield, like Cake and BNB together, like where you can deposit to get the APY, to get the highest APY on this. And we have another tool like called like ApeBlender, which allow you to blend multiple LP. If you have, suppose like you have like a multiple token, this one gonna be similar to like convert small balance to BNB. You can like select a tokens that you want, and then you can select like either the token or LP token. It's just like gonna blend your whole all the input token and export out as an LP token or any token that you want. Right. So currently we support over 196 protocol across 15 chains, and like I think like we are only dashboard so far that like support both the EVM chain and like the non-EVM chain. For non-EVM, we have Terra. We have a bunch of Cosmos ecosystem, Solana. Everyone may also be support one centralized exchange, which is Binance. Right. For the traffic, like we have been launching in May, and traffic is growing. So we currently behind on the top, among the top three. So we slightly behind. We are behind like behind the bank and Zapper, but like we still catching up, and we expect like the non-EVM chain to grow. So we are betting on that, and we are the only dashboard that support the non-EVM chain. Right. So in terms of engagement, we have around like 1.4 million monthly visits, and we are actually proud on like the visit per unique visitor per unique visitor. So a lot of people is coming into the dashboard. They keep coming onto ApeBoard. That's like we rank the second in on SimilarWeb on this. And for the team, we only have 6 people currently, but we are hiring more. So our team consists of like 4 full stack developers, including me, 1 designer, and 1 community manager. So our background, like myself, like graduated with math degree from Stanford, has been working at SCB10X, the venture capital firm based in Thailand, and like the venture builder firm based in Thailand, and most of the team have been working like in various industries, some from Microsoft, some from just like fresh grad from top university in Thailand. So we have been so we also support by SCB10X, like Spartans Capital, DeFiance, LongHash, and DoQuan. For the future product roadmap that we currently working on is we are working on the ApeBoard enterprise. We have been talking with a bunch of hedge funds that like they want to use ApeBoard to track like the as an internal tool to track their portfolios, and we want to focus ApeBoard enterprise going to be the more like a TradFi focus of ApeBoard, and we are co-developing this with like a couple of TradFi partners, the Graticool Asset Management and SCB Bank in Thailand. So what we are looking for, we want to expand onto the United States markets. We are doing really well in Southeast Asian and South American markets, but we want to expand more into like the get more market share in the US market and probably like the Chinese market. Another one that we are looking for is that we are looking for like Gamified partnerships. We see that we see a lot of like new users coming into Gamified, and we want to introduce them to DeFi, like using ApeBoard, and we also like want to introduce existing DeFi users that we have to the Gamified collaboration as well. And another thing we're looking for is we actually running a lot of RPC node for Kiri, and we are looking for partner that can help us with like node infrastructure on that. And that's it from ApeBoard, and Happy New Year to all of you. Right, thank you.
Thanks, Mike. That's a really nice last slide. Super funny. I also really like the Ape Blender. I think it's a very cool name. But thanks a lot, Mike, for that. It's a great presentation.
Thank you, Mike.
Cheers.
Awesome. All right. So next up is GoodGhosting. Now, this is a project that makes savings fun and profitable without the chance of incurring any losses. And that sounds pretty good, right? So now let's hear from the team that's looking to change the traditional savings model. Rachel and Heo, welcome.
Hi, yeah, thank you, Pranav. Yeah, just to kick things off, imagine there was a world where saving wasn't a boring chore and it was instead something super fun and engaging. GoodGhosting, we're your incentive to save. So it's a problem I'm familiar with, a lot of people are familiar with. Saving can be really hard. You know, we don't always hit our goals that we set ourselves. And even when we do, it's incredibly poorly rewarded. And that's certainly true with traditional finance. So they're almost negative interest rates we're seeing at the moment. But it's okay. Of course, we've got DeFi bringing us all of the good things. So much higher returns, composable ecosystem we can build on top of, gamification through NFTs and others. But still, by and large, it's pretty confusing. Concepts like yield farming really don't resonate much beyond the sphere that we're in. GoodGhosting, we believe that good financial habits should be rewarded. So we started first with saving. So we built incentivized no-loss saving pools. They're basically saving pools. You join, you make regular deposits, it earns interest. Then at the end, regular savers, they get rewarded, one, with high interest rates, and then two, with NFTs and other goodies. I'm actually going to hand over to my founder, Heo, who's with us, and is just going to show us a little bit what the product looks like in the front end.
Exactly. Thanks for that, Rachel. So if we can get the screen shared. Yes, perfect. So this is our website, goodghosting.com. And we go to it. You can scroll down, see impulse work. And at the bottom, we also have statistics and mailing list. But I'm going to show you how to enter a savings pool. So pools page, we can scroll down and see all the previous pools where you can collect your winnings, or the current pools which are available to join. For example, here, let's select a pool that's on Polygon, the unstoppable one. We can join it, and it will give you an overview page of this pool. For instance, here we can still have a few days left to join it, and the timer. There's a 22 DAI per week, and we'll have to complete 4 rounds to complete the pool. Getting pretty good currently, especially since you have some additional WMatic rewards. Let's see what else is in the pool. So we have 275 tons in here. We can see some more details about everyone in the pool, their address. When we go to the timeline, we see when we can join the game, when the game closes, when we have to make each depositor a winner and withdraw our winnings. So let's jump straight in. We connect our we join the game by approving a transaction that we are going to apply by the pool rules, so making one weekly deposit of 22 DAI in this case. This will change between the different pools. So what happens in the backend is that the funds get sent to our smart contract. These get forwarded to DeFi protocols where yield is generated. In this case, it's Aave, but we also have Curve coming up. So yeah, congrats. On the left side of the screen, we have a little profile page where we can see that we made all the deposits that currently stand to gain up to $2,900 worth crypto in case we make all deposits and other people drop out. So for the small demo, you can go to our website, goodghosting.com, and have a look for yourself. We have a little surprise at the end of the presentation, so Rachel will tell a bit more about that.
Yeah, thank you, Akhil. And yeah, just at our website, that pool that Akhil just demoed has filled up, but don't worry, we've got something coming. I'll talk about that in a minute. But since we launched last summer, we've really had quite incredible growth. So we've had over 18,000 players in our smart contracts, saving over 1.25 million. And what's even more impressive about this is it's all coming in like $10 to $50 deposits. So we've had over 50,000 deposits interactions with our smart contracts across Celo and Bond, the two chains that we are on. But of course, this is just the beginning with savings, but we're building out a whole range of different things to incentivize good habits and make it more flexible. We're going to add NFTs. We're using NFTs at the moment, but they'll become more integral to what we do, and they'll kind of let you save and go on this journey as you improve your financial habits. Of course, we're going to grow our user base. We will be building a mobile app in the future just to meet people where they are. So in 2024, you may have something like this. You can go to the GoodGhosting app. You can pay with a credit card, pay with fiat. You can see your avatar. You can see your balance going up. Hopefully, you are hitting those goals. And each time you hit a new goal, you're kind of unlocking new achievements and leveling up inside the app. Of course, the team is important. We all met last summer as part of Gitcoin's kernel program, so a very crypto-native origin story there. Myself, my background is both technical as a developer, but also in developer relations, so building out technical communities across Web 2 and the Web 3 space as well. He was on the call with us. He has a very solid DeFi background, is in part of the Enzyme DAO. Previous to that was an academic with a PhD. We have Francis, our CTO, over 15 years worth of development experience, and I think 4 years in the blockchain space. He is a mentor at Consensus Academy and also has fintech experience. Raj, also a number of experience in the space and a very keen hackathon attendee before he joined GoodGhosting. We're hiring, so we recently hired a community manager and 2 more developers, and we will be scaling up as we go. Yeah, so today we have closed our seed round at 750K, but we are able to extend it up to 500K for real value-add investors who are going to help us reach a global audience. And as Heel mentioned, we're also the pool that Heel demo had filled up, but you are very lucky if you're on this call because you're going to be able to join our latest pool, which we just launched, and it's actually a LongHash pool, so we've done it in commemoration of LongHash. It's on Celo. You can visit it by going to goodghosting.com/hash/pools 2020. That is a bit of a mouthful, so you can also use the QR code, and we'll also be sharing the link in our Discord, so jump over to our Discord. Also looking for feedback on our product and just growing our community as well. Yeah, thank you for listening, and together we can make savings awesome.
Awesome, great. Well, that was super exciting. Thanks, Rachel. Thanks, Heel. You're making saving really exciting for everybody, and I'm also very excited about the LongHash pool. So thank you again. Now, switching from DeFi into smart tokens, let's now hear from Victor at Smart Token Labs Now, Smart Token Labs product allows token-gated access to online communities, offline events, among many other use cases based on on-chain conditions. So here we have Victor from Smart Token Labs. Hey, Victor, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
very good, and very excited to hear about Smart Token Labs. Over to you.
That's great. So, okay, it's online. So hi everyone. I'm the CEO and one of the co-founders of Smart Token Labs. My name is Victor. Sorry. Smart Token Labs is the holding company for two key projects in Web3 space, the TokenScript and also Alpha Wallet. So we believe in Web3, and we understand to have mass adoption, privacy, self-custodial ownership, and speculation won't be the key drives, but user experience is. Whereas the same key drive move Web 1 to Web 2. So Web 3 need to provide 100 times better user experience than Web 2. And to have this much better user experience, the key building block should be token instead of dApp. Because as dApp are still using the same application-centric framework, where the maximum user experience you can imagine it can get will still be the same as Web 2. And with composability, interoperability still happen at application layer, the same old issue will always be there. Sooner or later, there will be centralized integration platforms to integrate all those different decentralized dApps to provide better user experience, because that's what users want. And those centralized integration platform will grow bigger and bigger and become the new gatekeepers, exactly the same as what we have in Web 2. So we think the right way to build Web 3 is using a token-centric framework, user-centric framework. Use token as the object instead of the application, and let composability, interoperability happen at the token layer, and let services integration happens in users' own user agent, like their wallet or their browsers, instead of happening on the big platforms. So you will have tokens representing what you have, who you are, what you have done, all in your wallet. And the different services, different applications are fully integrated with each other in your wallet via those tokens. And you will have your own fully integrated web right in your hand, which will be able to deliver 100 times better user experience than existing Web 2. So again, we believe only this will drive the real mass adoption of Web 3, not privacy, not self-custody ownership, not speculation. So for us, to make this vision really happen, we build a token-centric framework, TokenScript, and also a super user agent, Alpha Wallet. And I will briefly explain the two projects, since we only have a very limited time. So TokenScript gave each token a program interface on top of the blockchain smart contract, and which makes the token smart. By saying smart, that means with more utilities built into the token interface, and also make the token fully portable and composable, enables the token to be the Web3 building block, and turns all the tokens into an open API controlled and owned by user. And for Alpha Wallet, internally we call it as a contact-based integration platform in user's hand, where all the services integrated in the wallet via tokens. For easy understanding, you can think in Alpha Wallet as a decentralized version of WeChat platform or Alipay platform. For the past 4 years, we've been in the market for over 4 years, not like some new projects. We have been using TokenScript and Alpha Wallet to deliver more than 30 different tokenization projects with different business partners. And currently, Alpha Wallet is the largest EVM open source mobile wallet in terms of how many other people or other business is using our code base. We have over 400 forks just on GitHub. And I may explain one example. So this is the first NFT project we did back in 2018, where we partner with a FIFA exclusive ticket agent to data experiment to tokenize 50 FIFA World Cup tickets on Ethereum. So those are NFTs, but much more than a picture, which because it's with TokenScript smart token interface, users' wallet can interact with the gate directly, and also third-party services can be integrated right into users' wallet to provide the super user experience, like the hotel booking without manually inputting location and date, because the token with the smart token interface brings the full context. And there are many other projects we did in before. And if you are interested, you can visit our websites. We are quite lucky to have some reputable investors backing us since the very beginning, which of course including LongHash and Hashkey, 分布式, Crypto.com, Framework, Mechanism, 火币, OKEX, and also some individuals like Mark Cuban, who are very excited about what we are building. And currently, we have 31 people globally, including 3 co-founders, myself, our CTO, and also our chief engineer. I consider we have the best tech team in the Web3 space. Just give you one example, our CTO, who is also the designer of TokenScript, he started contribute to Bitcoin code since 2011, forked Bitcoin 3 times doing altcoin for different business, and also did 7 architect work for different Ethereum-based ICO project. And then he joined the largest bank in Australia before start Smart Token Labs. At the bank, he served as the blockchain architect, and also is one of the global architect for R3 Coda, where he lead more than 20 different blockchain, bank-related blockchain applications. And in this year, we start seeing people can really start understand why we need a token-centric framework. For example, like Chris Dixon always been start talking about the token should be the primitive, token should be the object, token will be the new web. And that is why we decide in this year, we need to move faster. And this is the key reason why we want to do another round of equity fundraising. And the fund will be mainly used for recruit more engineers and also to properly form a growth team. And we are interested in bringing in 2 to 3 new resourceful investors. And if you want to join the adventure, you can contact me. So this is my Twitter and also my email address. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers.
Thanks, Victor. That was a great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
So now, as we all know, the NFT market is nothing short of an asset class in itself. So now let's hear from Arnav, who's building Nibbl. It's an NFT fractionalization protocol with guaranteed liquidity and an easy buyout structure, which basically enables the NFT market to truly connect with the DeFi world. Hi, Arnav, how's it going?
Hi, Pranav. Thanks for the intro.
The floor is yours.
Yeah. Cool. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. See. Yeah. So as you guys can see on my screen, these are really, really valuable NFTs. And what you can actually get exposure to these NFTs and find utility of your holdings in DeFi. The NFTs that you see right now are all, or in Constellation DAO's case, were supposed to be really valuable. For example, the Doge NFT, the fractional NFT at one point had a market cap of around $400 million. Introducing Nibbl, where we fractionalize NFTs with greater community ownership and price-based buyouts. Our main features are a price-based buyout mechanism, bonding curve, which is custom for fractional tokens, and it increases community ownership over time. And thirdly, we also have various social features in the platform. So fractionalization actually is a very, very social game as well, where people who are interested in a cause or interested in particular, philosophy or whatever, they can come in and gain ownership or collective ownership of an asset. So we have integrated a lot of social features like token gated chat and stuff like that directly inside the platform. And then, as you might all know, that gas fees are really high on ETH. So, but the high value NFTs are still on ETH. So we are coming up with a mechanism where you can take your NFT on ETH and actually fractionalize it on a layer 2 or a sidechain. Let me actually walk you through our demo. So so this is like, for example, the home screen where you can see some trending NFTs and stuff. So it has a very marketplace sort of feel to it. And then it's very simple. In order to fractionalize, we just pick up the NFTs that are already in your wallet. You can select one of those NFTs, and then you can enter details of the fractional token. So in this example, I'm fractionalizing a squiggle, and I have chosen some initial supply, some initial token price and stuff. And then, that's it. Like I just click on fractionalize and boom, like I'm able to fractionalize the NFT. On the trading page, like this is the main trading hub of our platform, where you have a fractional NFT and like you can trade fractions NFTs and trigger a buyout and do interesting stuff. It has a very similar like exchange experience as well. So it's very similar to any trading on any DEX. And then you can also actually fractionalize multiple NFTs and have one ERC20 token represent ownership in all of them. You can view them on OpenSea and stuff. So let me first actually walk you through some additional features, and then we'll come to the core meat of the product. So for example, we have a NFT performance stat, as you can see, where you can see what's the performance been of the product. And then this feature is like the token gated chat I was talking to you about. So all the fractional token owners, they can come in and they can chat with maybe decide what to do with their fractional NFT showed in a gallery, or do interesting things with, and then, the trading experience is also actually very, very similar. And then there is also a profile page where people can go and see a particular user's profile, what fractional NFTs that they own, what's their value of the portfolio. And that's the main basic features of the product. Here I'm just actually triggering a trade of 0.5 ETH for the to buy a fractional token. And actually, as I mentioned, we are using a custom bonding curve where actually the price, supply, valuation all increase when someone puts in money into the system. So for example, in this case, you might have seen that the supply increased as well. Now, in order to trigger a buyout, you just go to the buyout tab and you can trigger a buyout at a particular valuation, which is actually the current valuation, is the valuation that you trigger a buyout at. And then in this example, I triggered a buyout, and how the buyout mechanism actually works is instead of getting people to vote on chain where they have to constantly track what other people are doing and paying $30, $40, $50 for gas fees just for voting, we are taking a price-based buyout mechanism where someone can trigger a buyout at a particular valuation, and then if the valuation increases by a certain percentage within a particular period of time, for example, in this case, I have a 5-minute time window and the valuation has to rise above 10%, then the buyout gets rejected. Otherwise, the buyout is accepted. So it allows the community to, in a way, put in money into the system, not a lot of money, but still decent amount of money. And they can actually vote with their money instead of voting on chain and stuff. And even outside people who feel that this NFT might go a lot, might go higher in the future, then they can also put in money into the system. And then we take some interesting time weighted average price so that the buyout itself is not manipulatable, the buyout mechanism, because it is based on price. So in this example, I'll first show you so the community pushed the valuation of the NFT. So it was around 1 ETH, and a lot of people bought in to cancel the buyout, and the valuation almost became 4.3. So the buyout got rejected. and then the original person can withdraw the bid. But now let's assume like the original person, he withdraw the bid and then he triggered a buyout again at a higher valuation. So then, like if say the community now was okay with this valuation, then the valuation didn't rise to the rejection valuation, and the buyout gets accepted. So that's the mechanism, and I think that like how this actually works is it becomes more like a bridge between the ERC20 and NFT world, because buyouts are really smooth. So I see a lot of like good liquidity and a lot of interesting DeFi applications to be also built on top of this protocol. But yeah, like on the screen now you can see like token holders, they can redeem their tokens, and the original owner, he can unlock his NFT as well. Yeah, so yeah, this is just showing you the Etherscan link. So let me come back to a slide because there are already some fractionalization players out there, namely Fractional is the largest one. And this is some of the features that we differ on. And right now, most of the players are really basic. What we feel is that we are coming with a very DeFi native approach, which is going to work really well with crypto sort of community crypto cases. And like, yeah, as you can see, these are the features that we offer. So where we are and what's next. So we finished with our contract audit in Q4, and right now we are just going to go for a testnet launch and then a main launch. And then we have very interesting things planned in the pipeline for this year. For example, direct fractionalized NFT minting, and as I mentioned before, fractionalized ETH NFT on layer 2, as well as some interesting DeFi integrations like person-to-pool lending and stuff like that. I have been in crypto since 2017, and I've worked at companies like Gnosis, Bioeconomy, and Zilliqa. Currently, we are a team of 7 spread across product and marketing. We have just made hires on marketing growth as we finished with our product. And we raised a seed round from some notable NFT investors like True, Collab, Libertas, and LongHash, as well as some angels like Sandeep from Polygon, Sebastian from Sandbox, and stuff. So what we are looking for, we are looking for strategic investors before our main launch who can help with getting early traction, as well as help in community building. So if you are interested, reach out to me on any of the places mentioned below. Thank you.
Super. Thanks a lot, Arnav. Excited to see the two worlds of NFTs and DeFi being brought together. Thanks for that presentation. But now coming to transacting anywhere, whether it's NFTs or DeFi, leaves a clear trail and is not really private. So now, last but definitely not the least, we have Manta Network, a privacy-preserving layer for the Polkadot ecosystem.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kenny, and I'm one of the co-founders of Manta Network, and we are building privacy preservation for Web3. So why are we doing that? I don't know if you guys know what this actually is. This is a list, or a very limited list, of all the transactions that are happening on Vitalik Buterin's wallet address. And so this means every transaction he's ever made to and from this wallet, every interaction with every decentralized application, the crypto assets he holds, right? All of these data piece together his Web3 identity, and it's fully public to anyone, including myself, right? I just grabbed this from Etherscan. And that becomes a problem of privacy as you think about it in Web3, because now anyone with an internet connection can see everything that you're doing on chain. And it's not just a problem that is discomforting, right? But it's actually entirely changing user behavior. We actually did a study, surveyed around 400 participants in the Web3 space, and the results came back to quantify exactly how this issue is highlighted. And specifically, right, I think, a couple of things to look at is almost 3 out of 4 participants of the survey said that they either hesitated to make a transaction or just avoided making a transaction in the past on chain because of their privacy issue, their privacy concerns. And 9 out of 10 of us, right, including myself, we've all peeked into other people's wallet addresses to see what assets they have, what they've done, who they're sending to, et cetera, et cetera. And so, it sounds like an innocent sort of activity, but if you really think about it, right, like that really highlights an issue, a growing issue of the lack of privacy in Web3. And so Manta Network, we are on a mission to bring plug and play privacy to every crypto asset in Web3 using zero knowledge proof. So you can think of us kind of like Zcash, but instead of asking you to use one particular token, we allow you to privatize other crypto assets. So you can send those crypto assets privately, such as DOT. You can privatize DOT into private DOT, which I'll demonstrate to you now on our Dolphin testnet. So let me switch over. So going into Dolphin testnet, you'll see that we have a signer that we've connected, and I've already gone ahead and pre-funded this account just so that we can, do the demo a lot quicker. But what you can see is that we're on the Dolphin testnet, which allows us to privatize Polkadot into private DOT and then transact that private DOT. And I'll show you exactly how. So right now in the testnet, we have some test Polkadot. Specifically, I have like 2,700 test DOT. And so what I'll do first is I want to privatize this DOT. So instead of sending it to another wallet address just as public DOT, or asking someone to send me some DOT, I'm just going to go ahead and privatize some of this DOT. So I'll privatize 738 of this 2,738 DOT. So I click deposit, and I'll ask for my info, sign the transaction, and it's processing. And so what happens during this processing stage is that a zero knowledge proof is actually generated for the transaction, which is what obfuscates the information about the transaction itself. This zero knowledge proof generation actually happens locally within your own computer. And so it really is dependent on your own processing power. So deposit is successful, view transaction, we'll go ahead and view it. And you'll see that there was an interaction on chain. And so now we have there's a mint process whereby we took the public DOT and privatized it. And so just to kind of jump back a point, right? When I say it's done locally and it takes advantage of your compute power, this means that the system is extremely scalable, because whether it's one person doing it or 5,000 people trying to privatize assets at the same time, everything happens locally before it hits the chain. And so that provides another level of scalability for us. But anyway, so I privatized 738 of that DOT. And so you see I still have 2,000 public DOT available. Now I switch over to my private tab and see now I have 738 private DOT that's available. And so with that private DOT, I can send to others, I can receive. And so what I'll actually do just for this test net, just for the purpose of this demo, is I'll send it to myself. And so I'll generate a new private address. This is our first version, which allows for temporary addresses. And in our next release, we will be allowing for permanent private addresses as well. So I'm going to copy that amount over and paste it in. I'm going to send myself, I don't know, 500 private DOT. Nothing's really going to change here because I'm sending it to myself, but we'll see the on-chain transaction just to prove that it actually sent. So click on send. And so the signer is asking for a password to authorize that I've sent, or sorry, that it's me sending. And so now another zero knowledge proof is being generated. And this generated zero knowledge proof actually contains all the information about the transaction itself. What we'll see is that once the transaction occurs on chain, that information is fully obfuscated. And so if you try to look through the data to see who sent it or who it was sent to, or how much of it and what asset it was, right? All that information is actually not going to be available. And so we'll see that in just a second. I just signed the transaction, and as you can probably tell, if you guys are familiar, this is happening on the Polkadot network. And so we are a parachain within the Polkadot ecosystem. So the transfer is successful, and we'll view the transaction. All right, successful. And now we can actually look at the parameters, look at all this information, and try to find out, okay, this is the actual proof, the ZK proof, right? But as you can see in this data, there's absolutely no information about what was sent, how much was sent, who was sent to, who was sent from, right? And so all of that information is obfuscated on chain, which makes this entirely powerful, because what we've actually done is we've taken Polkadot, we've privatized that Polkadot, and we've sent it privately to someone else. And no one knows except myself and the receiver, right? Which is also myself. So only I know. But yeah, so at any point in time, right, you can take the private dot and you can turn it public again. So I'll just go ahead and withdraw my 738 private dot. But you don't have to, right? You can send it to someone else, or you can, send a portion of it to someone else. Because we use a UTXO model, it allows you to continue to keep the assets private within our network and continue to send to one another. And this essentially just concludes the demo of our private payment testnet. In the future, we are building out a variety of other privacy products as well, as including private swapping. So you can think of it like a decentralized exchange with a layer of privacy added on top. And we're also building and researching currently ZKVMs. You can see that the assets were moved, and so now I have 0 private dot. And so this transaction is still processing, but in the interest of time, right? Oh, actually, it just completed. So going back to public, you can see now all my dot is returned to public. And so in public, if I ever send, all that transaction information is available. So yeah, I essentially demonstrated the testnet tool for private payment of various crypto assets. And you can see, throughout this entire process, this was in real time. So it's actually really fast, really scalable for zero knowledge proof generation. So we're very excited, but we are still committed to continuous improvements. And the next release of Dolphin Testnet will actually have a significant performance speed increase as well. So, stay tuned for that. But yeah, so that was the demo. And a little bit about us, right? Myself, Victor, and Shulma were the founders of the project. Shulma has a very technical background. He was actually building the smart contract systems for Algorand previously. Victor was studying for his master's in economics, and I was studying for my MBA at MIT. And this is actually how we all met. We met in the Boston area. The core team, this slide definitely needs to be a little bit updated because we've definitely expanded since then. We currently have about 20 people on the team, of which 17 are on the engineering side, and we're starting to scale out the business side as well. And so, if you or anyone in your network are very interested in privacy, Web3, and have a great blockchain background experience, please, reach out to us. And I think ultimately the ask here is, we want to attract additional users to try out Dolphin Testnet and provide feedback. We want people to better understand the importance of privacy in Web3 and see how simple it can really be to start using privatization for various crypto assets. But yeah, so with that being said, thank you very much. And yes, we are Manta Network, and we're bringing privacy to Web3.
Awesome, great. Well, thank you, Kenny. Very powerful demo and very exciting stuff that you're building at Manta. So folks, this brings us to the end of the program. We hope that you all enjoyed hearing from the various speakers, both the projects and our keynote speakers. Again, we want to thank Colin and everybody at Protocol Labs for being a great partner for a second time to run the Filecoin track of the accelerator. We want to thank also Arthur and DeFiance Capital for the very insightful chat and for being a friend of LongHash Ventures and the DeFi network. And of course, to all the co-founders, thank you again for your pitches, for your demos, and for working with us over the last 12 weeks to help you build and grow your various projects.
And thank you to our audience of investors, founders, and community members who've joined us today to virtually meet our projects. After today, you will be receiving a follow-up email with instructions on how to get in touch with the teams if you wish to do so. And we will be facilitating those one-on-one introductions over the coming weeks. For those of you who joined us here at our home in the metaverse and provided your wallet addresses, if you're lucky enough to win one of the NFTs, our team will be in touch with you soon. For our latest insights on this dynamic industry, follow us on Twitter at LongHashVC and go to our website, longhash.vc. Thank you everyone for attending the first ever demo day in the metaverse. Until next time.